So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast. I'm Jason Shields and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen and I'm the tiny one.
Hey, yo. You busy? It's we're going towards the Christmas and
No comment.
All of that, which is absolutely amazing. But it is definitely a busy time of year, just not for us, but for everybody else. So, how you feeling? How you doing? And what you up to?
Okay, next question.
Next question. All right.
I don't know how to answer. I don't know.
Much.
I know.
So much. Yeah, exactly. But the process of running several businesses is always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The field of contact that we have with thousands of people is inspiring, but also a lot. And regardless of how much you love it, you know, a mother with 7 kids loves each one of their children, but that's a lot of work. There's a lot of decisions to be made in relationship to each one of them. And that's the same as we are experiencing now with the wonderful expansion of the Integrated Human, the podcast. Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
That has to be said to everyone that has, because we're closing it on it's 2 episodes left of this year.
Yep.
It's this one and one more.
Yep.
It's very inspiring, very motivating, and I know I say motivation is bullshit, which it is. I'm not doing this because of that, but it really are helpful to get a message every now and then. If you like what we are producing for you guys, it makes it worth it, even when we're tired and we have to podcast early or late. Always good to have a conversation with Jason, but it's a little bit different when they are recorded. it takes a little bit more. So every message is very appreciated. Every question is very appreciated. Like we said before, some may have doubts if their questions are valid or are afraid to ask questions. I promise you, if you have that question, other people have it too.
Just bring it.
So thank you for everybody that has participated in our podcast over the last year.
Yes, absolutely. So this is an interesting phenomenon, and that is...
Banana.
Dun, 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 dun.
Banana.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous, exactly. Phenomena, anonymous, anonymous phenomena. Yeah, so there is an interesting question that I've been asked sometimes. And
how are you so handsome?
Oh, I wish. That has never been asked. Yeah, thank you for asking it. So much work on my hair. So, and that is, Jason, I feel great. And I'm like, awesome. And my life is unbelievably good. Good. And I know now that all I need is to love on my wife and love on my kids. And that's like, it should be enough because I have love in my life. Good. That's amazing, right? But there's one thing that you have to remember. And it's not this whole doomsday prophecy about as things go up, they have to go down and all that stuff. It's not that. But you have a worldview, you have a personal philosophy, you have roles to play.
Identities and egos.
Habits, right? And needs. You do. You have these things. You
And
need to breathe.
unconscious programming.
And all this stuff. And you also are dealing with other people who have those things.
Okay.
The climate changes. Economy and society changes. Job opportunities change. Your partner changes. They may be more beautiful today than the first day you met them.
Thank God.
But guess what? Are they the same? No. And you never know how this infinite being that is your partner, or that are your children, that is your boss, are your employees, is the people that you meet in the store. You never know, even your body, at what time that's going to change in a way that's going to change the constellation in your life. So, having a process allows you to enjoy those moments that maybe it's a whole lifetime, the way you're looking at your life, that is just amazing and on top and everything's fantastic. You can enjoy it even more when you have a process, because you can really feel it. You really see it. You really understand it with the process. How many children have it good, but they don't know they have it good?
Most.
Exactly. The whole point is that without some kind of self-reflective process, you don't know that you have it good. You only have it good, you have it good when you've lost feeling good, and then you have to get it back again.
And then you're not understanding that's good again.
Exactly. That's normal, right? So the whole point is that
You usually just register the pain and suffering.
That's it. The relative change from normal.
Down.
Yes.
Not necessarily up.
Exactly.
Because up usually is we see that a lot in the clinic. I always find that very interesting. Working in the clinic now for 6 or 7 years, so have seen a fair amount of patients.
Oh yeah.
And I love to talk. I have a podcast, for God's sake. So I talk to them sometimes, and it's very interesting, especially in the phase where they have had a lot of pain, and they had not being able to walk or turn their heads or whatever it is, and they're starting to get better. And then they have forgotten they had the pain, and they just expect this to be the new normal, and then they forget their appointment because they don't have pain, or they do too much, and then they have a relapse.
That's it.
Because they forget that it's going up, but you still have to. It's not sustainable yet, or they're back to normal.
Yeah.
Or what was normal.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that it's good, even. It's just no pain.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I say patient, double patient.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And that's an interesting theme in itself, because the whole process of getting well again is interesting. For example, if exercises are needed, almost nobody does their exercises, because exercising is not a part of their normal life for many people. So when you give them exercises, as soon as their pain disappears, what do they do with the exercises?
Oh, I don't do them.
They stop doing them, and then they get bad again, and they're like, what happened? Yeah, but you had to do the exercises. Did you do them? No. Okay. And why? Because that wasn't a part of their very established way of living. Their way of living for them is normal.
And what I find also, like I said, with having a process is that when you've been, so I did something, I did a wrong lift yesterday in training, and I have a injury-ish in my lower back after lifting wrong for many years. So because before I started here, I had been lifting for many years, and I've been lifting heavy, but I haven't had the correct technique, and I had a lot of back pain before I came back to Boston, started going to a chiropractor on a regular basis, and corrected my technique in deadlifts, which you have to help me with. And yesterday, because of many factors, I did wrong. It was a lift that went up when I lifted deadlifts up, and I pushed my hips forward, which I know I shouldn't, because that triggers it.
Yeah.
And when I put it down, I'm like, damn it, I went too far with it. So since I'm the queen of the books, I kind of can schedule myself in. So I got an appointment with my chiropractor over here, and it's when I know when I get adjusted now, it's going to be better. And when you have the process, you can really feel you get also the joy of it getting better.
Yeah.
You get to feel that.
That's it.
So it doesn't just go from bad to normal. It goes from bad to super good.
Yeah.
Because you really can feel the relative change, not just in a negative way.
Yeah.
But also the relative change, the
positive
positive way.
Exactly. And that's well said. And also we started with, it's a very busy season. So, and that's the whole point, that when you are literally at your capacity and you push even further to expand your capacity.
I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
must be my most used words the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I'm at capacity now.
I think about capacity, and then more comes. Oh, I think now I'm definitely at capacity, and then boom, even more. No. Now I'm for sure
I'm at capacity.
and then bam, more. Right? It's just a whole nother it's just a whole nother level always, right?
Yeah.
So, and you get to see how much you can do, but also that's when the small things happen and things can change. Like when you're really pushing your capacity, that's when we make a mistake in our lifting, or we go back to a habit that we used to have, or things pop up, and then the constellation in your life can change. And you're not alone. I do it. You do it. Everybody does it, because that's what happens, because that our fine control over our micro movements and the things we're choosing changes. As long as everything's easy, it's easy. But as soon as everything's at capacity, that's when you, in a way, rely more and more on automatic behaviors, which is going to create a little bit of, static. Yeah.
Not like yesterday was I looking back, I know that my head was 2 steps in front of where I was in my body. So as I wasn't in the present moment. And when you walk downstairs, you carry heavy, you lift heavy, you're doing important stuff, not just watching TV, but actually you're sending a message, whatever it is. I forgot to come back and be present. And that was what happened yesterday.
Yeah, that's it. That's when it happens. So, and that's a microcosm, a micro version, right? But then we have macro versions, like some stuff happens. Your mom dies, your dad dies. Maybe your mom and dad die. Like you lose your job. Some crazy shit happens in your life, and you have to recenter. You have to bring it back, and you have to breathe and be in your body and let it go so that you can focus on the next most important thing. And when I say let it go, it's not like you don't care about it anymore, but you don't let it dominate every other moment that comes forever after. That recovery process. My mom died. My dad died. My biological dad. I still have a wonderful, wonderful adoptive father, Tom. But when my biological mother and biological father died, I still love them, but I don't walk around in mourning every single day. I walk around in love with them every single day. But that recovery and that good energy that comes from all the things that they gave me and all of the beautiful gifts that they gave me in my life, and challenges, which also became gifts, the traumas that they gave me became gifts later on when I solved them, that came out of my personal process, right? So how long are we going to walk around with this crap is the question. It's like, and what do you mean by crap? I mean by crap that does not actually belong in this moment. How
long are you going to carry resentment or that comment?
Exactly.
Or if you're going to carry anything, you're going to carry that nice lady that gave you the box of chocolate.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. And what happens, if you think about your personality, and then this is what I say, if I was only my personality, I would have been destroyed a long time ago, right? Because your personality are all the things that you've built inside that you identify with, I never ask for help. I am always strong. I'm a provider. I'm, always at work. I'm
always on time.
right?
That's funny. I'm a good mom. I'm a good dad.
Exactly. It's all the things that I am this stuff, whatever it is, and all the things that you think good about yourself. Now, this is not just for you self-haters out there. This is not a moment for you to say, yeah, I knew there was nothing good about me. You know, this is just the idea, the structures that we have in relationship to ourselves, how we see ourselves. The self-haters have the opposite. Oh, I'm never good enough, or I'm ugly, or I'm not, they have all of these thoughts around what they are. So anytime I am comes up in your mind, I don't, I do, as
I
an
just want
absolute.
to.
I just want to. These absolutes that pop up, those are the things that actually end up creating a lot of problems for you when things change. Like I said, when you're either at capacity, oh, I never speed, except that one time you had to. Oh, I never not leave a good tip because I used to be a waiter and I give good tips, except that time you didn't have money for a tip and you forgot. Oh, I never stay home from work. Well, until that time you found out that you were going to be operated and you had to. Bam. You have, and it's not that you don't feel these things.
No, you feel them.
You feel them.
Almost like you feel them more.
Yeah, you feel them more because you have more depth of heart. You have more depth of feeling. You have more depth of energy. You understand the implications and the connection that you have with the world, that when you move, the universe moves. You're like, that's not true. Yes, it's actually true. Just like when the universe moves, so do you. There's a connection that you have, so you know that when you change something, everything changes in your life. Maybe very little, maybe a lot. And you don't know necessarily when that butterfly in China's flapping its wings, when it's going to have a storm in Toledo, Ohio. You don't know always how that's going to go for you. The whole point is the only thing you can do is be as good as you can be. You need to be as centered and resilient and recover from things as fast as you can so you can continue enjoying your life, whether it's high or low or dark or light. And people don't always remember this. But what if I told you have to paint, you're going to be a painter now, and you can only use light colors. You can never use a dark color. Or you're going to be a musician, but you can only play on the top seven keys on the piano. You can't go to the lower tones. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's so limiting, and you'll be frustrated. Same thing with your life. In order to truly enjoy the tapestry of your life, you have to have all of the experiences. So my question to you guys today, and I know Marit has worked with this a lot in her process, who are you? And do you understand that you are a being with the full spectrum of possibilities, a being with a full spectrum of emotions and capabilities? Do you know that? You can just sit down for a second and write down on a piece of paper, I am not. I'm not a cheater. I'm not a, whatever you are, whatever you want to write these things down and really analyze your life and see if you can find
I
the opposite.
support everybody.
I'm always supportive.
I always sacrifice.
I'm always sacrificing, exactly. Sometimes you can't. I never need help from other people. Sometimes you do. That's what it is. And you need to confront these things. When I say confront them, that doesn't mean go to war with them. You need to accept them. You need to look at them and go, maybe if I'm less I am not, I can be less judgment oriented when it comes to other people. Because if I realize that there's some days, not that I don't want to go to work, but I can't. Like literally can't. Then I won't judge other people. And I also know where that line is, because if other people are just slacking, you can kick them in the butt. But the absolutes, blacks and whites, have a tendency to make you gray over time.
Very gray.
Yeah.
Very suffering.
Very suffering, because there's so much of life that happens in the middle tones, and things are constantly fluctuating. And the calculations are impossible. You can't always predict. You know, a psychologist that my father-in-law listened to one time, he's a orthodontist. And of course, dentists are amazing human beings and they serve humanity so much.
Oh, I would be dead without them.
They're so good.
Actually, because I
Yeah.
had
An infection.
a very large infection
Yeah.
in my teeth.
Yeah.
So I would be dead without a dentist.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, we're talking about good people here. And the problem is that, almost everybody's afraid to go to them.
Yeah, I visit one every year.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite, and every time he says it looks good, I go, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, because I don't want to see you more than once a year. Once a year too many.
Yeah, right. So that's the thing. It's like you appreciate them, but they also have to deal with the fact that people are terrified, and that, in their big dentist meetings, they have psychologists that come in and talk about, being, phobias, dentist phobias, and all kinds of stuff that people can have, and how to deal with the psychology of being a dentist and all that. So they had a dentist that came in, or I'm sorry, a psychologist that came into the dentist meeting and said that if more than 80% of the people around you like you,
You have an issue.
you have an issue. And it's like a shocker. Like, what do you mean? If more than 80% of the people around you like you, you have an issue. That's because in this busy life that we live, people will 100% sure not always understand what you meant, always take what you meant, what you said like you meant it, will not understand what you said, will not understand your reasons for doing things. Sometimes you're going to trip on your shoelaces. There's so many reasons why somehow you can come to a point where you're on the wrong foot with somebody else. And not because you mean it, just because that's the way life is. And to accept that, oh, I'm a good person. People love me. I love people. I'm always doing the right. All of that stuff. Do your best. Work with great intention. Yes, but you just have to know that you're going to get some hate sometime. Try posting something online.
Oh my God.
Open up your Twitter account. There's always, if you have any attention at all from people, there's going to be a selection that are just going to hate because they hate. They need that for some reason. That's the way they address life, And it's most likely some 12-year-old kid somewhere who's just seeing what kind of reactions. And
No, they can also be much older than 12-year-old.
they can, but they should then they should shape up. Now I'm throwing a thing out there. So, but having a process allows you to work your nervous system, to align your nervous system in a way that you can take the worst kinds of hits in relationship to your needs, in relationship to your personality, in relationship to your emotional states, in relationship to the way you see yourself in the world, your relationships and all of that, and still keep functioning without more suffering that's absolutely needed. Because it's not so much what happens, it's how we suffer with it, right? So I had a friend who lost his mother, and they were grateful that she died. And this sounds weird.
No,
But she suffered so much.
It's the best ones.
Yeah.
This kind of thank you for leaving.
Yeah.
Sounds very horrific when you say it like that, but thank you for leaving.
Yeah, but when they've been, suffering for 20 years and it's horrible and they haven't functioned and they've just not wanted to be here, sometimes it's good to let them go. It's not that, you're not going to miss them, of course, but sometimes it's the absolutely most appropriate thing. And, there's so many situations where you can say that, oh, that's bad. But then you look at it. No, there's some situations where those bad things aren't that bad. In fact, they're good. So the absolute relationship to suffering and losses are often new opportunities for growth, new opportunities to take a left turn. Maybe you're finished with this part of your life and moving to the next. You don't know, but one thing's for sure. If you're not resilient and ready to move on, it'll never happen. The good things can't come to you unless you're ready for them, right? And maybe they come to you, but you don't see them or you're not able to take advantage. So it's...
No, often I find that we're so busy, like you said before, like in who we are or how we think other perceives us, and then we take one incident, one bad comment, one positive comment as the fact, and we drown ourselves in something. Many different things that vary from person to person, and without this process, you have a very difficult life.
Yeah. Jesus.
Because and the worst part is that, because I've been there, is that you don't see that you're drowning, and your family is suffering, your husband is suffering, your kids are suffering, but you cannot see it. Yourself is suffering
Yeah.
more,
Be
and
convinced,
it's
not in the least.
no,
You're
no,
suffering, of course.
you are
The one that's probably suffering more. Yeah.
but you can't see it, and that's the worst part.
Because you think that's just the way life
And then you
is.
judge and everybody else are after you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And but it's impossible to see that because you're so blinded.
Yeah.
You're trying to get even. You're trying to get back, which kind of just spirals it down even more.
Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to say you go to the grocery store and the lady in the beeping thingy, what's it called?
Yeah, in the register.
Yeah, beepy thingy.
The beepy thingy. Beep, beep.
She has a bad day and she's rude to you, and you go out pissed, and you're gonna carry that for a week until you get back there. And when you get back there, you're gonna get her. She doesn't even remember that she was rude to you, and you've been carrying that for a week, and then you're gonna be rude to her, which means that you're gonna wreck her day, and you're gonna not actually feel better.
Wreck your day.
And she's gonna re-wreck your day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the whole grocery store hates you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to change grocery stores.
Because she's not going to remember that she did something evil to you.
No, because she just had a
bad.
bad day.
She had a bad day. Therefore, whatever she did was just justified.
She can't even remember it.
Can't even remember it. Exactly. And then, yeah, the whole point is that the whole grocery store where you go every single day is going to hate you.
So you're gonna change grocery stores.
Yeah.
But since you are the one that at least, even if she doesn't actually did something bad to you, you thought she did.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the same at the next grocery stores.
Yeah,
So
because you're going
after
in thinking maybe I'm the person they treat like shit at the register, the beepy
and
thingy.
then after a while,
Yeah.
you have gone through 4 grocery stores.
Yeah.
And you have to go to the other side of town to get your groceries. And at one point, grocery stores are evil.
Yeah.
And it's just very fast. And of course, you don't do that with grocery store, but we do that with things in our life.
Yes.
And it's very fascinating.
We do that with genders, races, religious, directions. We do that with activities, I'm just not a runner, or I'm just not a whatever. And sometimes it's true, but, very often it's just ideas we have. Very often. I mean, you have to, of course, look for facts in life, but, the facts never change, but our relationship to them do, right? And you're like, yeah, they changed. No. Facts are facts. They're not alternative facts. Facts are facts. Facts don't change. Your relationship to them does. If you have an alternate relationship to them, maybe they change. Not the facts, but how you work with those facts. But it's exactly right. These weird kind of rabbit holes that we go down,
And we don't see that we're making the world angrier and angrier.
Mm-hmm.
We're making our lives smaller and smaller, and more and more. You get less and less able to take, how to say that, impacts.
Yeah.
Because
hits.
your own field is filled with spikes.
Yeah.
And if you spiked, you're gonna start hitting things even more.
Yeah.
And then you end up in a wicked spiral, and the world is after you, and everything sucks, and you need to change grocery stores.
Yep. That's it. And when you're resilient and you're relaxed, you can realize also that person, if they step on your toes, they do something horrible, 99% of the time it has nothing to do with you at all. It's basically because they're feeling like shit, therefore everything's shit. And the world is
As you are.
as you are. So if you feel like shit, really
Everything's shit.
very easy for that to move from your heart up instead of up, down, inside out, up, down, inside out. we have an opportunity sometimes in our weak moments to allow our emotions to color the way we see everything. And then suddenly everything's crap. We're feeling like crap. Everything's crap.
And the same thing when everything's good. Everything's good.
Everything's good. That's what love is, right? There was somebody who defined love as a positive psychosis. Oh, everything about that person's so dreamy. It's so amazing. And it's like,
I love the way they challenged me.
Yeah,
5 years later, I hate that he always challenges me.
Asshole. And he doesn't put down the toilet seat, and he doesn't put the cap on the toothpaste. A thing I thought was cute now. It's not cute at all. Right? And that's because the reality hits and the emotions have started to settle. Not that they are worse, but they've started to become more balanced so that you can actually see again when it comes to that person. And your evaluations, your relationship to the facts change. Because he always didn't put the toilet seat down, but before it was cute. Now it's not cute. That's a relationship, right? So choosing your relationship with the facts comes from self-reflection, comes from your process. And this is the important thing, guys. Why do you need a process? For that reason. It makes you ultimately powerful. What is it that makes the difference between champions and losers? Almost 100%. It has to do with the choices they make and their relationship to the facts. Period. They are able to think in a way that is successful. They're able to relate to things in a way that is successful. They're able to work with things in a clear, successful way, and they get results. It's not like they're born with 4 arms and 8 legs. If it was a case that, okay, this guy, his arms stretch like 100 meters, and that's why he beat me in archery, because he could just stretch his arms and just shoot from 3 centimeters away. Wrong. His arms are not that much longer than yours. Like, it doesn't really actually matter. Marit and I do jiu-jitsu, have done jiu-jitsu, and have competed in jiu-jitsu at high levels. There's something called open weight.
Yes.
When I can win open weight against people who are literally a whole Marit heavier than me, and they're a head and a half taller than me, and their arms, it doesn't matter that much. It matters, but it doesn't matter that much. You can actually still work with it. It's not like they're aliens. So the whole point is, again, I was working better with the facts. I had a better relationship with the facts. And that's the point. You want your relationship to your own process to be strong so that you're ready. Ready for your life, ready to enjoy.
Ready for Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Remember, you matter. Unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then you're energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.